This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has warned against further increases to the interest rate, stating that some of its members might not be able to continue operating their businesses. The association fears that further increases to interest rates could see the exit of more companies from Nigeria and the closure of indigenous manufacturing companies who have been struggling with rising cost of production since the removal of fuel subsidies in 2023. Joining us this morning on the conversation is the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Kadiri. Mr. Kadiri, good morning and welcome to the conversation.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. If you could speak to us about the fears that your association has.
Hello?
Mr. Kadiri.
Yes.
Right. Could you speak to us about the factors that have led your association to make this statement regarding the possible closure of indigenous manufacturing companies?
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. I think this is a very important question to ask at this time, when a number of challenges have continued to confront the manufacturing sector, and not only the sector, but other economic actors in Nigeria. I believe that the cry of the manufacturers is in sync with what our economic actors are saying. So specifically on the issue of the interest rate that has continued to make it impossible for you to make business projections, that has made it impossible for you to produce and be able to sell at competitive price, the one that has not allowed you to make your exports competitive when they find market access in other countries, the one that has continued to escalate the cost of servicing your existing loans. So all of these have combined to make us inform the regulatory authorities and the federal government in particular that there is need to re-examine the rate at which credit is made available to the productive sector.
Right. Well, as part of these conversations, we do know that it's essentially the cost of things have been rising. All right, we're going to reconnect with Dr. Segun Kadiri in just a moment to continue the conversation that the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has brought to the fore, and that is a conversation focusing on the fears that further increases to interest rates could see the closure of Nigerian manufacturing companies. Of course, as part of the statement, they have pointed to August of 2023 when GlaxoSmithKline was forced to close down operations in the country due to pretty much the same struggles. Do stay with us.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news breaks.
People at the spot, and angry mobs decided to bomb.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part.
GDP is not a good measure of development anyways. We are not there. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that our vote does not count. If your vote does not count.
We bring you the story within the story. And that's what makes us tick. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and we go beyond the news.
You're listening to Now Breakfast.
You're welcome back into the conversation. We're rejoined by Mr. Segun Kadiri, who is the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Now, sir, last year we saw the exit of such multinationals as GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, and as part of your statement, you referred to their exit from the country. I wonder if you can clarify for us just how much manufacturers in Nigeria are struggling.
Okay, so the exit of GSK is just one of those indicators that the operating environment needs to be improved upon. It's not only GSK, we've also had 2 or 3 others having to exit because the environment has proved to be unfavorable. But the impact, I must tell you, is such that it discourages other would-be investors, because if you want to invest in an economy, you first and foremost look at what the existing ones are going through. You look at the parameters that make the environment conducive for you. The fact that we are not mentioning the domestic industries, that's those indigenous businesses, the manufacturing industries that are owned by Nigeria, is the fact that they are here. And so their exit or their closure does not usually attract the same attention or publicity. But generally speaking, even though we have a global climate of downturn in businesses, there are measures that could be taken within each country to mitigate these challenges and to ensure that we do not have this high rate of closures. Because when you just hear that industries close, that's not the end of the story. It means that people are losing their jobs. It means that those that are involved in the value chain, that is the whole retailers and even the consumers of those products, are being denied either type of livelihood or the products that they enjoy as citizens. It also means that they have less opportunity to take advantage of the local production in terms of reduced prices. And even government itself suffers because government is not now able to collect taxes.
So Mr. Ajay-Kadir, if I may, your concern was particularly around the CBN hiking interest rates. The last hike we saw was perhaps the lowest hike since the CBN leadership, the MPC, since they started to hike up the interest rate. Now, beyond that, the latest inflation figures also show that inflation actually dropped for the first time in 19 months. So the CBN would argue that some of the measures that it has put in place is actually beginning to show result. Do you have expectations that it might show some sort of impact on the manufacturing sector over the end of this quarter into the next quarter?
I believe it should. First, let me say that it's a welcome development that the rates are, heading south, which means that there is some form of improvement. At the same time, you will realize that an inflation rate that is upwards of 30% is still high, but it is the fact that they are coming down is an indication that if we do the right thing, if we ameliorate the challenges in the environment, they could come down further. So that essence, I will call the improvements you are mentioning as symptoms of possible exit of the challenges that we have, but not to say that it is Uhuru yet. So, but going into the second half of the year proper, I believe that we should moderate the issues. Over a period of 19 months that you mentioned, we have seen how the continuous increase in the interest rate have impoverished the productive sector. So you can imagine a situation where you are able to bring down interest rates or you are able to bring down the inflation rate by half. You can see the multiplier effect across all sectors. I'm not saying that it is done by magic wand, but there are steps you needed to take, and we have isolated one for special attention, which is intentionally incentivizing productivity, making credit available to the productive sector and reflect the economy. You can expand production capacities to create opportunities for jobs to be improved upon, more taxes to be paid, reduce social tension. So all of these things will follow, and then you will see a winding down. If we improve on the insecurity we have, and you cut out the middle men that have been fingered as part of the people that lead to, that are responsible for the increase in prices of even food items, you'll be able to see a lessening of all of these figures. And we won't be talking of just gradual changes. We need quantum changes that will improve the life of the people. And I believe that the government is doing in the right direction to be accelerated I mean, so that the citizens can benefit. There's no doubt that this government has quite impressive policies that work, that could work. But we need to put more speed into resolving it. I mean, so that the relief that the citizens are looking forward to can come more quickly.
Well, Mr. Kadiri, thank you very much for your time and your expertise on the conversation. Segun Ajayi Kadiri is the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and he joined us this morning to speak on the association's fears that a continued rise in the interest rates by the CBN could see manufacturers in Nigeria follow suit of international companies who have shut down Nigerian operations and pulled out of production. We ask that you stay tuned to your Beyond the News station. Up next is Entertainment Now.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news.